All right. Hello.
Hi.
Again.
Hit it.
They're here.
Don't cross the streams.
Bueller.
I'll have what she's having.
Great Scott!
Why did it have to be snakes?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Bueller.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
I'll be back. I am your father.
Bueller.
I feel the need for speed.
It's showtime.
Hello and welcome. We are the Silver Screen Sisters, but really we're just two sisters who don't even watch that many movies, if we're being honest.
But we're going to change that.
Yeah. Hopefully. We'll see.
Well, I'm Sophie.
And I'm Billie.
And we are going to take it back to the 80s, baby. And we are going to watch 80s movies.
Yes, this is the first episode. And it was Sophie's idea to do some sort of podcast where we would watch 80s movies, the two of us being 80s babies, and really starting to dig into and appreciating and experiencing maybe the horror there is with 80s movies.
Well, we did miss a lot of them. I thought they were supposed to be great, but
I mean,
great horror, I think we're going to see a couple different variations of the 80s.
Yeah, we'll see. But anyway, we'll get into that. How are you doing today?
I am good. It is holiday season, and we're getting festive in Washington together. Mm-hmm. Because Billie's from Washington, and I came to visit.
Yeah, so
how are you doing? That's the question. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. For those, none of you guys would probably know this, unless you're friends and family, which is probably the only audience we'll have at the beginning, which is great. Thank you, friends and family. I just finished going through my second shoulder surgery last week, and I'm doing great. And we decided to take the opportunity for Sophie to come up and visit, and so we can record at least the first couple of episodes in person before we go back to Zoom calls. And we all know how those have been these last couple of years.
Right? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
I can't see you. Are you there?
Or my favorite is when your partner walks behind you in their pajamas,
lack of pajamas. That could happen. It hasn't happened over here, but it could.
Mm-hmm. For those who also don't know, I guess you probably put two and two together, but Sophie and I are sisters.
Oops, yeah. Did we mention that?
We forgot to mention that.
That's okay.
We're sisters 2 years apart, and
Come play with us.
so we should probably talk about... Well, let's start with whose idea was this to start. This was all Sophie's idea, so I'm blaming her.
Yeah, well, the thing is I can't remember what prompted me to this. I really don't. I just remember we were trying to do a podcast, and I thought about the 80s and started making a list of movies. So our awesome, foolproof plan that we have is we're going to pull from a box every week.
Oh, yes. Sophie made the list, a huge, ginormous list of almost every single 80s movie. Of course, not every single 80s movie.
That was a lie. More like an eighth of all the 80s movies, but go on.
So she made this giant list, and then she cut them all up into pieces and put them in a little box. And so the format of this show is going to be, at the end of each episode, we will be pulling a new movie. And we'll post the new movie on our website. We'll announce it, obviously, in the episode before. So all of you guys at home can watch along if you would like. Eventually, maybe we'll get into social media. We haven't quite decided yet. Give us a little time.
Yeah, this is all a work in progress.
Yes.
However, I hope this does get you all in the mood to watch 80s movies. Or whatever decade you want. We just wanted the 80s because we missed a lot of it. Mm-hmm. However... we're going to talk about some of our favorite movies, and one of mine's actually from the 80s, so...
Heck yeah!
We've seen a couple, just not nearly enough.
So, what is your favorite 80s movie?
It's The Princess Bride.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
I mean, there is a tie between the 80s movies. I got a couple favorites, but the two 80s movies that I know of and have watched is, of course, The Princess Bride, and then Beaches. I don't know why. Beaches is one of my favorites. People can bitch about that all they want. I don't care. It's my go-to. Makes me feel good.
Ah, Beaches. I'll watch anything with Bette Midler in it, even though that movie makes me cry.
I mean, I think it was meant to at the end.
Well,
I don't know
yeah.
a lot of people that didn't cry.
No, right? But it's also such a poignant message of friendship over the years and how it goes up and down and how some friendships like that can really turn into the sisters. They turn into being like sisters. So, anyway, nice little tie back there. You're welcome.
Back to us sisters. Yeah, so, Billy, what's your favorite 80s movies? Since we're talking about the 80s movies, per se, what's your favorite?
Oh, goodness. I think one of my top 2, I guess, would be the Blues Brothers, hands down. There were also a lot, it is the Christmas season, so there's a lot of good, like, Christmas movies that have been done in the 80s as well. Like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, that's a solid gold standard.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw that once for the first time with Cody's family, my husband's family, because I never watched it. And they have this little, like, home theater.
You've never
they've
seen
made.
it? Oh, wow.
Right. So a couple of years ago, I watched it for the first time, and I loved it. It was impressive.
Yeah, speaking of, that actually ties right back into, why and, how unqualified we are to do this kind of thing. We never really watched a whole lot of movies. I mean, I didn't. Sophie watched more movies than I did when we were growing up. But
not 80s movies.
Not 80s movies. I had never seen Little Shop of Horrors, and then my husband's like, you need to watch it. And so that's partly also the motivation for doing a podcast like this, because we haven't seen a lot of these staple 80s movies, like any of the John Hughes movies I've barely watched, so on and so forth. So you're going to get a very down and dirty, probably ridiculous, and maybe insightful, but probably not, because we don't know what we're doing yet.
Maybe more aggressive. Like, hey guys, why hasn't anybody told us to watch the 80s movies? We will, I will be aggressive with the older audience that we have.
Blaming.
Like, come on. Guys, keep these alive.
Keep these alive.
But anyways, it's going to be lots of fun, and I'm excited to watch our first movie together.
Mm-hmm. And what movie exactly are you looking forward to watching them the most?
Yes. Ooh.
And the least.
This one's tough. I'm not looking forward to Xanadu.
I don't even know what that is.
Well, I've heard it's one of the worst out there, but it all depends.
Mm-hmm.
I think it depends on how you feel personally, but it's probably bad.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. The one that I look forward to, this is hard because...
Can I try rephrasing the question maybe? Which one are you the most excited for me to watch?
Well, you've seen the 2 that I've named.
Well, yeah, but, like, is there another one that you think I would have a good reaction to?
Not that you haven't already seen. I'm thinking, like, Gremlins. But you've seen that. We've seen that. Die Hard. We've seen those.
Oh, yeah, it's another great Christmas movie.
I can't wait to watch those. a good one.
I think I'm most excited for you to watch Amadeus.
What is?
So, for those, I'm sure everybody listening right now, in the beginning of this podcast, if you're new joining us later on down the road, you probably don't know this, but I was a music major in college, have my bachelor's in music and music education, and Amadeus is based on the life and composings of Mozart, and Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. So
what she's saying is you're going to learn a lot about music in 80s films.
Yes, I feel very strongly that music can make or break a movie, hands down, especially for me. And
I'm like, there was jazz playing back there?
Right.
I didn't hear that.
Did you hear the motif? It's the same motif that they used in the first movie or whatever related movie or something ridiculous or in a different
scene. And I'd
scene.
be like, yeah, what did she say? So she's going to be our music expert for the 80s.
And Sophie's probably going to be our social, kind of plugging in some of the cultural or societal norms that were in during the times.
Yeah, I'll have questions.
Well, yeah.
I'll definitely have lots of questions.
The one I'm not really looking forward to is... Now, I've already seen it, so this kind of doesn't count, but I really don't like it, so I apologize to everybody that I'm about to offend. But I don't like Howard the Duck. I understand the character, I understand the Marvel and all the things. Like, it was like one of the OG Marvel movies or something like that. But...
Right, and he made an appearance.
He made
one
it...
of the...
Shh, no spoilers!
Sorry.
Speaking of spoilers...
I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
So.
Obviously, these movies have been out for 30 to 40 years at this point. So if you're going into these episodes, be warned, we will be talking in detail about certain scenes, certain aspects of the movie, and there will be spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen these movies. So proceed at your own risk.
If they're not gone now, we told you, so...
Right?
Continue.
Another warning, just some paperwork, I guess, is there will be adult themes covered based on whatever movie we're going to watch, and probably some copious amounts of swearing.
Yeah, I would say small children in the car, please silence us now.
Right?
Well, we don't know what we're going to say, but, you know, we're not exactly 15, so we're
Right.
going to say whatever.
Yeah, we're just as old as these movies we're gonna be watching. So,
any more paperwork? Was there anything else that we need to think about?
no, I think we could just pull the movie, Kronk.
Pull it. Oh, yes. Okay, so this is the interesting part where we pull a movie.
Oh God, I'm nervous. What movie
Good
are we
luck
gonna do
to
first?
us.
Oh
I'm
God.
gonna pull it. So
Oh God.
we are gonna do Little Shop of Horrors.
Shit!
I have not
Shit!
seen that
Ah!
ever.
Okay, I say shit, but Robert, okay, my husband's name is Robert, and Robert, I love you, and I know you're fucking laughing right now because
He can hear you.
he can probably hear me. But Little Shop of Horrors is Robert's probably number one of his favorite movies, like, ever. And I appreciate it for what it is, and I love Rick Moranis, and I love Steve Martin and Frank Oz and all of the things, but oh my God.
I hope someone's listening saying, what the fuck is Little Shop of Horrors? Because that's where I'm at.
Yeah, it's pretty intense, man. And you know what? The music's amazing, so I'm going to be looking forward to that part for sure. But, you know, it's... Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we're going to find out. And stay tuned, guys. We'll get back to it. So next time, we're going to talk about this in detail. So
All right. Well,
hope to see you around.
Yes, come back next time.
Let's give them some information. Like, there's an email address somewhere.
Yes, we have an email address, and we have a website. silverscreensisters.com is our website. And you can find us definitely on Apple, iTunes, or wherever you're listening to us right now. And I know this is the very first episode, so you can totally wait for a minute or two. But if you want to drop us a 5-star review, that would really be helpful if you want to hear more. And our email address is connect@silverscreensisters.com. So shoot us a line there, and we look forward to hearing from you and having fun with this podcast, because I think it's going to be rocking.
Yeah. And with that, I got to go for a FaceTime call.
Yay!
But I'm super excited. We will talk soon.
Talk soon.
Get your 80s on.
Get your
talk later.
80s on. Woohoo!
All right.
Yay! Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others and leave a rating and review. To catch all the latest from us, check out our website at silverscreensisters.com. Silver Screen Sisters 80s edition is hosted by Billie and Sophie. Editing is done by Sophie, and cover art was done by Billie, with special illustration work done by Bacencia. Intro and outro music composed by Future Mono, and hold music composed by the Mini Vandals. This is a Silver Screen Sisters production and is powered by Coffee and Yoga Pants.